do you think he still should have deserved some sort of penalty for how he entered his pits?
Oof. Yeah, I'm probably going to get some flack in the comments here, but I think I disagree with a lot of us at Grid Network. I'm more of a I don't really know type of answer because, in all honesty, what else was Ty going to do there? Like, he turned, but they even said Steve Letarte mentioned, and I think a lot of these guys, to be honest with you, in the booth will criticize you immediately, whether you need to be criticized or not. But for them not to criticize Ty about this, I think it kind of shows that there really wasn't much wrong with it, because I don't know if it was Parker or Jamie McMurray or Adam, someone, and said, like, how's he really supposed to turn in the pit stall? Ty was right, he did have the right of way. And granted, do I agree that it was a little aggressive and what happened shouldn't have happened? Yeah, absolutely. He definitely, it's just the coincidence, or I guess, of the fact that an RFK crew member for Brad Keselowski's team was standing in the pit box ready to go because Brad was pitting at the same time as Ty. It just so happened that he clipped the tire, clipped his hand. So I think I can't say it's a racing deal, but I think it would kind of be really harsh, personally, if he gets a penalty. Maybe a financial, like a fine, but I mean, how else is he supposed to turn in the pit box? And if you see the clip of him doing it, it does kind of look bad, especially from the RFK perspective, the overhead camera. But at the same time, how else is he going to enter the pit stall? Like, visualize the empty pit stall and how he would enter. He would do that same thing if Brad Keselowski wasn't there. So I don't think Ty changed it up, even seeing a crew member there, but it could have ended up very badly. So that's my thought. I guess trying to play devil's advocate, maybe they should talk to him about it. But I think it was honestly the right decision not to give him a penalty. But maybe on Wednesday or Tuesday, whenever they do the financial report and the penalty report, maybe we'll see a monetary fine. But yeah, truly, I don't really think it's something worth discussing any further. I think it's just you go on to the next week. But because it's Ty and he's young, immature, then that's why we're having this conversation.
At first, it looked like from that onboard and the initial discussions, like especially with the context, like, okay, the Ty made a mistake, and I was on board that I think he should have gotten a penalty. Then we heard from NASCAR looked at it, no penalty, and I remember thinking, if I was Brad Keselowski, I still want to go send a message to Ty Gibbs about what just happened on pit road, and that's really not cool. This is a big safety issue. But then looking at that top camera view, looking down, the only thing I could think of, and this was where I'm not 100% sure on the rule. Looking at the camera, we all know that orange line to guide the drivers into pit road. Ty Gibbs was on top of that line, maybe slightly over it. And that's the only thing I was wondering is, like, is there something about how far can you be over on top of that line getting in? Because we know he's trying to get the best angle in pit road. So I started thinking more, and I was like, man, maybe NASCAR did the right move to not penalize. But as you said, if they do something on Tuesday saying, hey, there's going to be a monetary fine for we felt that was really cutting it close, we want to send a message to the drivers. Let's reemphasize, you got to be safe out there on pit road, especially. And whatever they decide with the orange line rule, go from there. Because I think it's just one of those deals where it was just a scary deal on pit road. Now, in the chat room, let's go ahead and check out the chat room. Denver. So if you hit the guy and he's severely injured, still not a penalty. I think that's where we get into this hard discussion, because if that had been a serious injury, and it doesn't take much when you got a 3,500-pound car, hits your hand and tire. Yeah, he just twisted it, but it could have been easily, if we're talking a fractured wrist. All of a sudden now, I think there's a really good case for a brawl between the two pit teams of, you just injured clearly one of our teams. And this is where I think NASCAR's in a really hard spot. And I sort of wish NASCAR maybe did do that penalty, like, hey, tail end the longest line the next restart, Ty. Because hey, Denver does bring up a good point. If that guy was injured, where will we be? And I guess Matt, do you have any follow up, especially the position NASCAR's in, if that was the case?
I think it's truly a scenario based thing. I just think, I guess, all the ducks were in a row. I can't really think of the terminology. It just perfectly lined up for a fact that we have this conversation. Because if it wasn't an RFK pit box and there wasn't a car coming behind Ty Gibbs pitting at the same time, this wouldn't have happened. It just so happened, coincidentally, that of the 36 other cars in the field, it just so happened to be a teammate of the driver who moved Ty Gibbs in turn 11, which was Chris Buescher, and they just so happened to be pitting at the same time. I really think, other than that, if he did get hit, if it was someone like Carson Hocevar's crew members or somebody like Tyler Reddick's crew members, I really don't know if there was any different. I just think they had to look at it more just because of the fact that it was Ty Gibbs versus RFK. That's how I feel about it. I can definitely see why other people would disagree too, but I just think it's more of a, in order to have this conversation, you have to have three things line up. And it just so happens to be, of all the different possibilities, that all three of these things line up, having it be Ty Gibbs specifically, having it be RFK teammate, and then having them pit at the same time with stalls right next, or I guess in front and behind each other.